What got you interested in engineering? And how did you get into the field?
From a young age, I've enjoyed maths and physics and tried to understand how things work. So it's from doing a kind of psychometric test when I was doing GCSEs, which is kind of like when you're like 14, 15 in the UK. And you do a bit of a test to see what you're interested in. And then it kind of like picks careers that you'd be suited for. So one of the careers came up was engineering. So that's kind of like why the main reasons I went into engineering. And I think it was quite a novel thing to do for a female to do in the time when I did it. It's only a few years ago, but it was kind of like not that many female engineers in the trade then. So it really got me inspired to go into it to try and make a difference for other women, really.
Excellent. Jen?
Yeah, so I think my psychometric test at school probably told me to be a janitor rather than an engineer. They were a little bit unreliable. But the same, I had a massive love for maths and art and science. And probably about the time when I was doing my A-levels, someone at a career event said, don't do a maths degree, you'll have to be an accountant. And they're very boring people. Have you thought about engineering? And I visited Bristol University. They run a really nice course for young women, trying to encourage them to learn about the profession. So for a week, I stayed with a group of other young people from all over the country, and we learned a little bit of robotics, a little bit of material science, like lots of different things. And I thought, this is great. Like there's some space for artistic stuff, maths, and there's something practical, and there's a career at the end of it. So my mum's not going to be mad. I'm not going to have a job.
Thank you very much, Jen. May?
So I think more than 90% of engineers will tell you that we enjoyed physics and math and we were good at it. Then we noticed that we should complete in engineering. I almost have the same story. I was curious about like understanding how things are happening, how they work. I knew this from high school. But why I went to electrical, not other departments, because when I joined Qatar University, electrical engineering was only offered for male students. It was the first year that it was offered for female student. Then I said I have to prove that it's good for female. I can do it. I'll join it, and I did. And I was the only Qatari female in this batch, and alhamdulillah, I graduated with good grades from this. It was the first batch of females, and I was the only Qatari female graduating that year.
So what inspired you? You mentioned that you liked physics and maths, all of you, but there must be somebody who inspired you to get into engineering.
I always been inspired by variety of people and variety of things, and a person should always keep inspired by whatever surround him. And of course, I'm inspired by Qatar Vision 2030, and of course by Her Highness Sheikh Moazaz. She's a role model in education and an excel in education.
Thank you very much. She is actually a role model, and she's encouraging a lot of the projects that you see around are part of the vision that she had and Qatar had. So that's really encouraging and pleasing to see. Denise, anybody? Don't say it's me.
Really fun now. It's just Rafid, of course. No, so something you kind of said earlier in terms of parents, although not engineers, my parents kind of like inspired me to go into engineering. From a young age, I'm one of 7. My mum and dad's got 6 girls and 1 boy. So traditionally, where you'd say, you know, my dad would take my brother around to do things, I kind of like followed my dad like a shadow, and I used to watch him build things from scratch, from different types of materials. And he wouldn't kind of like, he's a self-taught engineer and kind of self-taught, successful in his career. And my mum always instilled in me to kind of like work hard, and embedded in me kind of like go to university, work hard and get a good career for yourself. And so from that respect, I think kind of like that was embedded into me, to go out and do things and not to be afraid, and to take all opportunities, and kind of like use your initiatives to go and work out how things are done, and take lead. So from those core skills, it's the core skills of engineers. So I feel as if I've learned those from my parents, and they've allowed me to kind of like thrive in that manner.
Thank you. Jen?
That's really great. I thought about it much more directly. I thought about what would a civil engineer say if you asked them who's the inspiration for them. And I think most of the civil engineers in the UK would say Isambard Kingdom Brunel, because obviously during the Industrial Revolution, he completely changed the landscape of engineering for civil engineers. There's an amazing suspension bridge in Bristol, which I got to go and see when I did this insight course. He did the Great Western Railway. He did steamships. He did the first ever tunnel under the River Thames. Like, it's really amazing the amount of different things that you can get into if you're an engineer and you're just interested in these things. I think now I would say the same in my career. There's many people that I meet that can inspire the direction that my career path takes. And I think I could have gone a very different way into something very technical, like geotechnically or structurally, or where I am now in project management, just based on the managers and supervisors and also the public figures that I see, how they work and what they're doing, and see where I want to be, what I want to emulate. So
great, thank you very much. It's really a very inspiring answer. Next question for you, Jen, as well. I mean, you might be the one who will know these. What major challenges has faced you in this industry?
So right now in project management, most of the challenges are the normal project management issues, working to incredibly tight programs, balancing the finances of the things we're doing, and making sure our client is happy whilst we would deliver really good, high quality work. I moved to Qatar in 2013. And when I moved, I was sitting with Hyundai on site. They were building the Lusail Expressway. So back in London, I'd been working on detailed design of the 5-6 arches. I don't know for anyone in Qatar, you might have seen them if you come out of West Bay towards the Pearl. For me, those were an enormous engineering challenge because at the time of the design, we were planning to suspend a building from them. So I was using advanced parametric modeling technology that I'd never used before to try and find really efficient, attractive structures for the cable net, and also trying to make sure that the 100-meter tall arches were interacting with each other in a way that could support a building to hang from them without too much movement in a high wind sandstorm in a different country that I'd never experienced the weather in before. So yeah, every day is a different challenge.
Excellent. May, any challenges that you can while you're progressing?
Yeah, actually, there are a lot of challenges, but I'll speak about the challenge of being a female in this industry. I remember at my first job, I was working as an electrical engineer. At that time, I just graduated, and I was very keen to know everything and how the job is going and what to do. And I was trying to learn from every engineer within the department. At that time, my boss, he really gave me a hard time, and he was giving me some old project documents and just read them and just tell me what is happening there. And these projects were completed actually, and I did not get it the first time. I was doing it, and I did some reports and presentation about these projects. He was giving me some books and read them and tell me what is happening. When I was trying to reach him that I will present it to you, he was not there. He never showed up. Then I've discovered what is happening. Within the first appraisal, after getting my first project, it was a really small project, but after that, within the first appraisal, he told me that at the beginning, he did not want me at the department. It was a kind of a force to have me there. And he told me that I was the first female Qatari actually he met in person. He has this misconception that all female are not good at work. They will not do the job. It's just as an addition of a number to the department. So he really thought that I'm just an added number. But alhamdulillah, things changed, and this misconception he have changed. And I'm really proud that at least I changed the mindset he had regarding especially Qatari female.
That's excellent. We are really proud of that achievement, May, and may Allah give you more success and more, not more challenges, but more hurdles to cross. And I'm sure you will be capable to do that. Denise?
So I'd say the major challenge that I faced, maybe in industry or in my career, is gender and cultural differences in terms of as a female engineer, working on a site. I'm working in the design office to a certain extent. It's challenges and people have perceptions of what you're capable of doing and not capable of doing. And again, that's kind of like the kind of like thought process and what they think, and it's not necessarily true. And I think, you know, as a mum of three, you know, the gender aspects is being a working mum, which is partly why I didn't stay in industry, because I think in terms of hours, my husband works in the construction industry, the number of hours that you have to do, traveling and so on and so forth, I think kind of like to get that work-life balance, it would be quite challenging for most women. Academia has been ideal for me in that respect, in terms of, and also obviously having very good and understanding managers such as yourself, Rafid. It kind of like allowed me to thrive in being a mum and kind of like being a good professional engineer as well. So yeah.
Excellent. Just to give everybody some background, I used to be at John Moores University for 30 years, and I left in February this year. So I worked with Denise for a number of years, and we had a very good working relationship with that. Right. So if somebody wants to recommend, if you want to recommend engineering to anyone, what activities, academic or non-academic, would you recommend so that they can get interested in engineering? Jen?
Many of the key skills that you need in the engineering workplace are soft skills: teamwork, communication, problem solving, things like this. And they can come through anything that you want to get involved in, where you can take a position of leadership or organization. So I would say to people, just follow your passions, but try to get yourself involved in societies within them. Obviously, also, I recommend strongly to anyone that's a civil engineer to join the Institution of Civil Engineers. I'm the chair of the Qatar committee, and we run CPD events here at least monthly, take people on site visits. We have a really good community of people who can help you develop your career to chartership, and also get some contacts in the industry when you need to look for a job or something like that. And I know we're setting up a student chapter at the moment within the university, so leadership positions in that will also be available. So yeah.
Excellent. We look forward for you to coming over and speaking to our students, hopefully very soon, Jen. Denise?
I think what Jen said is get involved. Don't be afraid to go and try it out. I think in terms of kind of like, I went to engineering because similar to Jen, in terms of, you know, and you would get a job at the end of it. But actually doing a year out and working on site and then going to design office, it kind of like made me understand what I wanted to do in engineering and where I wanted to be placed. And a lot of it kind of like slotted into place by seeing it from a practical perspective. So if you can do a year out, do summer placements, you know, speak to companies, try and get, you know, site visits, you know, get involved in IC events to kind of like go and see what it is to be an engineer, because I think kind of like sometimes it's not kind of like what we think it is traditionally, and what we've got, the image we've got in our heads. So don't be afraid, go out, try and understand what it is you want to do, and, you know, above all, enjoy it.
Yeah, I would recommend students to join all non-academic activities they could join, where there are things they will never learn within the boundary of the classroom or within books they're studying. There are some skills that shall be learned from non-academic activities. These skills will have a huge impact on their career.
Excellent. I completely agree with the three of you. Actually, it's just getting involved, and sometimes there are a lot of preventative measures from other other areas that shouldn't be there. And all you need to do is just say, "I need to get involved," and get yourself into it. And I'm sure you will excel. As you can see in front of us, there are three very distinguished female engineers who really excelled in what they do, and makes us proud of what they're doing. Okay, so what would be your one piece of advice to somebody to start a career in engineering, whether it's female or male? what advice? I mean, we've seen that as academics all the time when we meet with new prospective students. But what advice would you give them specifically to say, well, we need you to come into engineering? We'll start with Denise.
So what I'd say is, in terms of, don't be afraid to see, be faced with challenges. I've faced challenges on a number of occasions in all the different workplaces that I've experienced. There will be challenges. There will be people who will try and be a barrier in your life. What I'd say is, believe in yourself, be confident, and just do it. My PhD supervisor said to me once, there's enough people in this world to put you down. You don't have to put yourself down. And I kind of sit by that in terms of when I try and, I need to have a word with myself sometimes when, I question my ability or whatever, is don't do that, because, just be confident, you can do it. So yeah, that's what I would say to a younger Denise.
May, what do you give advice to people here in Qatar specifically to say you need to be involved in engineering, especially females?
I would say have courage, never doubt yourself. Surround yourself with supportive people. Be active, be creative.
Absolutely, just go for it. And on a practical note, make sure you develop your contacts within the industry, find out the things you really love to do and steer your work experience towards that. As Denise said before, summer placements and site visits are really great. And actually, since I graduated, I realized more and more there's a lot of bursaries and scholarships for young engineering students. So before you start your university career, search those out.
Excellent. Yeah, there are a lot of going around, which we really don't do our research correctly. So what's the biggest misconception about the engineering field? A lot of people think they know engineers, and we've seen a lot of people who come on open days or applicant days, as we did when I was at the university, and some of them have no idea what engineering is, to be honest. So what do you think, in your experience, the biggest misconception? I'll start with May.
Okay, the biggest is it's never a male-dominant field. The second thing, it's not only about math and physics. Engineering is more about creativity, about designing, about how to bring whatever in your mind to reality.
That's exactly right. Jen?
Yeah, I Googled this because I think I've been in the industry too long to have any misconceptions anymore. Very aware. But the internet said engineers have no social skills. They love to fix everything. They're not creative. Their jobs are very boring. They love maths. They can't communicate. They're very geeky with no other interests. They're mostly men, and they're always stuck in one place. And I think, although some of those are actually things I'm kind of proud of, like being a bit geeky, really loving maths, very, very fine with that as a conception, not even a misconception. I think I've traveled everywhere with this. I worked in Bangladesh in a small rural village building, helping people who self-build their homes with engineering. I'm out in Qatar building amazing structures that are kind of something you wouldn't see in the UK even. And I've worked in London on schools and hospitals. So definitely you can go anywhere, you can do anything.
So yeah, I think my misconception as a kid was, it's dirty, it's cold, it's overalls, greasy hands, and kind of like you fix things, which in part is true in terms of engineers do fix things, but we don't necessarily do it physically. We do that through designing, constructing, and managing projects. So in terms of that common misconception, we are fixing things, but not manually. Maybe it's through the design and through those people skills that we have. I think that's one of my greatest assets. I have a people skill, and I think it's helped me in my career.
I think engineering, because it's so diverse, there's so many fields that you can work in. There's no 2 days the same, and that can go to academia, can go to the site, and go to everywhere. Every day there is something different that you can get involved in, and it's really makes you proud to be there, and hopefully wake up and say, yeah, I need to go to work and do this job today. That's the difference with engineers. I think it gives you the satisfaction. And as May said, and Jen and Denise, there's nothing more proud to say that, well, I helped in design that, or I helped in teaching that, or I graduated that. And it's such a proud profession, to be honest. And even for me as a male, I think I feel proud about it more than you do. Right, so I think that's all the questions we have. What we have is some of the audiences sent us some questions to ask you. So we got a question from Nadia Kumba, and she says, what opportunities do women have in the engineering field? Although I think in part we have answered it, but let's have a go. What opportunities do you think they have? Let's start with Jen.
I guess my answer to that would be they have the same opportunities as other people. I know.
Yeah.
Actually, within our organization, we are trying to target increasing the amount of females in our profession. So the industry is very open to interviewing people from all different sort of diverse cultures, but also different sexes, and welcoming them in. I think the opportunities, you have to create them for yourself. So if you can see something that you think you'd like to be involved in, then certainly that kind of career will be there somehow. And the best thing to do is to contact people, come on things like this and learn as much as you can, and reach out to the people through LinkedIn or something and make your own path.
Like Jen said, create your opportunities. And in terms of, it's so diverse, engineering, you can do so many different things. And that's, I'd say don't plan too much as well. And kind of like those opportunities will come to you. You know, if you'd said to a younger Denise, you want to be an academic program leader, I would have said definitely no. You know, and, you know, kind of like see it as a stepping stone. You know, opportunities come, life will take you down the path that it will take you, and don't get too worried about kind of like driving a path of what you're going to do from, you know, the age of 20 something to like 65. Kind of like just take it a step at each time. Your career will, you know, unfold in front of you. And, you know, go out there, find out what there is in terms of like working on site, working in design office, working in academia, understanding more, because there will be a job out there perfect for you. You just got to kind of find what's that perfect fit.
They will have the same opportunity, but female have to be like, they should have courage and believe in themselves, and they will go within the career. There are a lot of committees for engineering, women in engineering, other committees. There are a lot of committees they can join. They can join like workshops. They can attend a lot of workshops, a lot of training. It's at the end, it's for both male and female. They should teach themselves. Like, it's not only the degree they have. They should learn after the degree, the bachelor. They should learn from workshops, attend training. And at the end, as I said, they should believe in themselves and they have courage.
I think women have already got the skills to be an engineer. So in terms of, you know, great organization skills, multitasking, you know, all things that women are very, very good at is what you need to be an engineer. So I'd say we've already got the skills, and you've just got to realize them and kind of like let them loose in your engineering career. So we have the skills and we know how to be good engineers.
Yeah, I'm in agreement. In terms of core skills, definitely we have everything we need. And in terms of getting involved with professional institutions and following up once you've finished your degree to make sure you do continuing professional development, a target number of hours every year. And I'm always encouraging people to get chartered, to get professionally qualified. In Qatar here, we have MMUP registration for engineers, and aiming for the grade A registration is, I think, an excellent thing that we should all be trying to do to kind of keep the level of engineering very good within our community.
So I'll stay with Jen. So specifically, women, has engineering improved women's skills in any way, or did they, as Denise said, we have all the skills already, we don't need to improve on anything?
I mean, I had probably some basic skills when I started as a young woman, but definitely throughout my career, my communication skills have improved massively. My presentation skills have improved massively. My design skills have improved as well. So an engineering career can definitely turn you into a person that you maybe wouldn't have been if you'd followed a different career path.
I think as females, we take things personally, and I know I do, in terms of comments. And I think working with a lot of male, it's taught me to kind of like not take those comments personally, and it could be a professional criticism, and it could be a positive criticism. So what it's kind of like taught me is to take all advice on board and to kind of like think it over rather than kind of like go on your gut and initial reaction. So I feel as if I've developed as I've aged in that respect. I can deal with constructive criticism a bit better now I'm older.
I think I've run out of questions and things, so it's just want to say that how proud I am to be here to speak to those three distinguished people here today. And what's something that Jen didn't mention, that the president of the Institution of Civil Engineers this year is a woman. The president of the Chartered Institution of Water and Environmental Management, Simon, in the UK, is a woman as well. So with determination, with the will, with the confidence, they can reach whatever they want. And the UK had a prime minister who was a woman not long ago. Two of them. One we don't mention, but the other one was. So yes, and the success story, even in the Arabic or the Islamic history, if you go back, there are a lot of women scientists, a lot of women who achieved a lot in all avenues of life, really. So I think as a conclusion today, you need to be really confident. You need to know what you want to do. And don't let anything stop you achieving your goals if you are determined to go into engineering or any other fields. I mean, we are a bit selfish because we want you to come to engineering because we're all engineers. And I think the achievements that engineers can do is so satisfying and so good in any type of engineering. There are so many branches of engineering that you get involved in. And I always say to students, a lot of students say that we've concluded our degree. Actually, you don't conclude your degree. Your life starts after you finish your degree. And that's when life really starts in achieving your goals and applying the knowledge you got from the university. So I'd like to thank you all for being here today, Denise, Jen, and May. Thank you very much for giving us the time to be here, and everybody who's online, thank you very much for listening today. And if you have any questions, please, there are I think ways they can communicate with us about any further questions or any queries. And thank you all for attending today, and I will say goodbye now. Thank you very much.